Welcome to the English virtual class. The topic for today is vocabulary exercises, shops, phrasal verbs, idioms, body language, stages in life, feelings, etc. Let's begin. Shopping and money. This is the first topic. Let's see all the kinds of shops. The bakers, where you buy the bread. The butchers, where you buy meat. The greengrocers, where you can buy fruit and vegetables. The fishmongers, where you buy the fish. Hardware store, where you can buy useful tools for the house. The bookshop, where you buy books. The newsagents, where you buy magazines or newspapers. The chemist, where you buy medicines. The florist, where you buy flowers. The jewelers, where you buy jewelry. Pet shop, where you can adopt a pet. And lastly, the department store that sells different kinds of things. Now let's see some phrasal verbs related to shopping and money. To bring something out, to release, launch or start selling something. To fork out, it's informally, to spend money on something, usually when you don't want to. To knock money off, reduce the price by the amount that is mentioned in the sentence. To rip somebody off, it's informal, to cheat somebody by charging too much. To shop around, considering several possibilities before you choose what you want to buy. To snap something up, buy something as soon as it becomes available. To splash out on something, to spend a lot of money, especially in nice things for yourself. Now let's do some exercise. Replace underlined phrases with the phrasal verbs we learned earlier. Fork out, brought out, snap up, shop around, knock money off, splash out on, rip somebody off. Let's see the sentences. Why are young people looking in different places for new shopping experience? How can you reduce the price of your fish pedicure? Where can you find and immediately buy a bargain? What new items has Junk Shop UK released recently? What extras can you spend a lot of money on in Molecule Water Cafe? Which place is cheating their customers? Why is one person unwilling to spend £10 on a fish pedicure? Now let's see the correct answers. Why are young people shopping around for new shopping experience? We can see that looking in different places has changed into shopping around. How can you knock money off your fish pedicure? We can see that reduce the price of has changed into knock money off. Where can you snap up a bargain? We can see that find and immediately buy has changed into snap up. What new items has Junk Shop UK brought out recently? We can see that released changes into brought out. What extras can you splash out on in Molecule Water Cafe? We can see that spend a lot of money on changes into splash out on. The last one, which place is ripping their customers off? We can see that cheating changes into ripping their customers off. Why is one person unwilling to spend £10 on a fish pedicure? Why is one person unwilling to fork out £10 on a fish pedicure? Now let's see some money idioms, very used in the spoken English. To be broke, to have no money. To cost an arm and a leg, to cost a lot of money. Have money to burn, to have a lot of money. Make ends meet, have just enough money to buy just the necessities. To pay through the nose, to pay too much for something. Now, some exercise about these money idioms. Complete the idioms. People pay through the for popular brands of trainers. Most university students struggle to make ends. Some end up in debt. It costs an and a leg to study English in the UK. Few people can afford it. Footballers are paid too much. They have money too. It's better to be and happy than rich and unhappy. Now let's see the correct answers. People pay through the nose for popular brands of trainers. Most university students struggle to make ends meet. Some end up in debt. It costs an arm and a leg to study English in the UK. Few people can afford it. Footballers are paid too much. They have money to burn. It's better to be poor and happy than rich and unhappy. Now let's talk about body language. We know that body language helps us understand others' emotions or feelings. It is closely related to our feelings. We express and show our feelings through body language. If somebody bites his or her lips, he or she is scared. If somebody lowers the corners of the mouth, he or she is sad. If somebody scratches his or her head, he or she is puzzled. If somebody scratches his or her neck, he or she is frustrated. If somebody stands with crossed legs and folded arms, he or she is insecure. If somebody points his finger to somebody, he or she is angry. If somebody yawns, he or she is bored. If somebody bites his or her nails, he or she is scared. If somebody has an open mouth and raised eyebrows, he or she is surprised. If somebody has a broad smile, he or she is happy. The stages of life, do you know them? When somebody is a baby, when somebody is a toddler, when somebody is a child, when somebody is a teenager, when somebody is of a voting age or an adult, when somebody is engaged, when somebody is married or divorced, when somebody is a widow, when somebody is a senior citizen. Now let's practice. Let's do some exercises. Fill in with the following words: gap year, pregnant, prime of your life, senior citizens, toddler, upbringing, voting age, widow, divorced, engaged. Will usually progress from crawling to walking between 12 and 14 months old. A good and a proper education will give anyone a fair chance in life. You should be at your peak physically and emotionally in the Matt worked for a charity abroad before he continued his studies. In many countries, the has been lowered from 21 to 18. N is to be married. Linda is, and due to give birth in June. After 10 years of marriage, they decided to get, in their retirement, many. Take up hobbies such as gardening. And the last one, Miss Roberts was left after her husband died 10 years ago. Now let's see the correct answers. A toddler will usually progress from crawling to walking between 12 and 14 months old. A good upbringing and a proper education will give anyone a fair chance in life. You should be at your peak physically and emotionally in the prime of your life. The fourth one, Matt worked for a charity abroad during his gap year before he continued his studies. In many countries, the voting age has been lowered from 21 to 18. Anne is engaged to be married. Linda is pregnant and due to give birth in June. After 10 years of marriage, they decided to get divorced. In their retirement, many senior citizens take up hobbies such as gardening. Miss Roberts was left a widow after her husband died 10 years ago. Thank you very much for your attention.